time.
Yeah.
You
He
tried
got
it
me
though.
mid.
He he got you mid chew, you ogre.
Mid chew. Boy Harold
Well,
over there
Tony,
chewing on them oven ribs and shit.
well, Tony, hey, look, man, you're the man this evening. So
Why am I the
what we
man?
talking? Because you the man.
Man, Tony.
Just because it's my birthday?
Yeah, it's your birthday.
That's right.
Come on.
Well, I
Think
know
of
what
me,
y'all want to talk.
Marine. Ain't that what
I
y'all do?
I mean nah, we just get dropped in and go fuck shit up. That's all we really go do. But I know what y'all want to talk about because I already explained that I was not going to watch it because it's not anything I'm interested in because I just don't care about Colin and his situation anymore. I'm over it. Nothing has come. I just don't care anymore. But I know you two have watched the Colin Kaepernick show on Netflix. What did y'all think about it?
So I have a question for Eric. Think about what Tony just said. And if you felt the same way Tony did, would this movie or series change your mind?
Um, it's kind of a hard question to answer. I I feel like what he said about how the NFL critiques players. I get that part of it, but I do feel like he probably went a little bit too far on some things.
So how I feel is so it's several things that stick out. Was number one, whenever he was getting his hair braided, and what his parents and what his coach thought about him getting his hair cornrowed at the time.
Hmm.
Then whenever he had the girlfriend, well, not the girl, well, yeah, the girlfriend.
The girl, yeah.
Whenever he was about to take her to the prom or whatever that was, the dance. It was a homecoming dance, excuse me, at first, and then he ended up taking the white chick to the prom.
Right.
So I think if you look at whenever he did the workout thing with the Kunta Kinte shirt on, this is just my interpretation of it because everything has a purpose. I think what he's trying to say is it shouldn't matter what I do or what I say, even though that's not reality. We all know it matters.
It does.
But I think that's what the message he was trying to get across. Because so many times during his childhood, he was always looked at if funny if he, cornrowed his hair. Like he liked Allen Iverson. That's the reason why he cornrowed his hair. His parents, you know, looked at the chick, the black chick, and were like, "Oh, gold is her color." But then when he dated the white chick, it was they were gushing and, "Oh, she's so beautiful," and yada yada yada. So
Hmm.
I think that's what his whole message is. That's my opinion. And I for one, if that's what it was, now I understand. If that's what it was, that's why I leave it at that.
Well, I think at this point, uh, what's it been? 5 years now? Has it been 5 years now?
It's
Mm-hmm.
been quite some time.
4 or 5 years now? I think I just feel like the message at this point the message is lost
Right.
Mm-hmm.
because you look at, I mean, and then people, do I feel like Kaepernick is a NFL worthy QB? I do. At that point in time, you know what I'm saying? At that point in time, I felt like, yeah, he belonged in the NFL. He had the skills to be in the NFL, but you've been out going on, I think, 6 years now. Your
Mm-hmm.
time is that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like your time is up. and not to get off subject, but they're probably gonna Cam Newton is probably gonna end up being done the same
Well, I mean, yeah, we can't compare the two because Cam legitimately got hurt. He took a
way. Right.
beating his entire career because of the
Mm-hmm.
refs not calling. And I got to see it up close because he was in my division. And I can honestly say we got some hits on him that if we'd have hit one of them other quarterbacks, that it'd have been called. But
Right.
because he was Cam and he was bigger than the linebacker,
Well, that's
they let it go.
and that's why I say some, you know, some of what Cap was talking about, and or what I perceived him to be talking about in his in his uh in his special. You know, he had some legitimate points about the NFL. You know, and how those other people perceive us. You know, because yeah, if you go and hit Peyton Manning like that, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be
You
like, they're
probably
going
out
to
the
call
game
that. They're going to call that. You know, but you know that just goes back to, you know, do they really feel like black people don't feel pain?
Hmm.
I mean, I agree, but also the reason I'm over Cap, if you wanted to come back, you could have.
Right. He that now that I do agree with. I do
You
Agree.
agree that if he took the time, sat down, got in somebody's playbook,
look at
showed
it
up, showed up with football gear on, not
and ready to go.
Kuta Kinte, not Black Lives Matter. Although I'm
Look,
not
let's
saying Black lives don't matter, but at this point, you've made your point with the NFL. So there's nothing else that need to be said. So if you want to be in the NFL,
because what
show
do
up in their
quarterbacks do?
colors.
What do quarterbacks do when they want to get back in the NFL? They turn it. If I can't be a starter, how about you let me be a backup? Look at
Yeah,
RG3. RG3
yeah.
was washed, and what happened? He came back in as a backup, and he was on
And
two more teams.
I hate he was washed because I know him. Him and my brother play AAU ball together.
But look,
I hate
he
that he
got
was.
in for some games with Baltimore, and he looked damn good.
Hmm.
But even
Hmm.
them, he even RG3 knew. You know what? I'm done. I've done all
But
I could.
and then he took a lot of hits that he
He
shouldn't
didn't
have
need to.
taken.
Like
Some
we
were his
concussed him.
fault. Some were his
Nah,
fault,
they most of them shits was his
and
fault because he didn't know how
others,
to slide. He
yeah,
didn't know how to slide. He because when we played him and he went to the sideline and he went down head first, our
head first.
linebacker
Yeah,
came
I
in.
remember that. Yeah,
They concussed the shit out of him. He if he'd have slid, he'd have stayed in that game and they'd have beat us because he was doing it. But the knee injury and the concussions, that was it for him.
hmm.
Cap, on the other hand, honestly, his last official year in the league, he was not a good quarterback. He was not. We got to be honest. He was not a starter
Ron
in the
said
league.
Cap is just bored. Yeah,
He
I can
probably was,
agree with
but
that.
his
Yeah,
last year in the
I can
league,
see
if you
that.
look at how he played, he was horrible.
He was.
Did he
But I
regress?
mean,
Possibly.
but is that his fault or is that coaching? You know, is
You
that
won't.
his fault
That's
or
the
is that the
thing.
scheme?
You don't
And
know.
this is why, and the reason why I say this, the reason why I ask this, because I know me and you both feel like Daniel Jones deserves better.
Of course he does.
So so is it if he had a better offensive coordinator? Because I think San Francisco changed coordinators that year.
They
So
did, and
is it
that's
if
when
is it he should have had a better coordinator, or the coordinator didn't know how to use him? Or you know
it's
what I'm saying? Because I feel like
the
Daniel Jones is going through the same thing. Like I feel
the
like
way the way I look, and Justin Fields is going through the same thing. But now they're starting the and most of us here have played football in some aspect, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
When you get a coach, your coach has a job. Figure out what your strengths are,
Hmm.
adjust your strengths. But he also
Right.
has to
Right,
figure out what your weaknesses are and fix your weaknesses. The quarterback or whatever football player that we're talking about has to then identify his own strengths and weaknesses and compare those with the coach.
right,
Then those two have to sit down and get together and figure out a game plan that works for that player.
right.
That's what we're seeing with Justin Fields right now. Because when he first got in the league, Matt Nagy didn't know what he was doing.
And he can't throw down
Had
the field.
had no clue.
He cannot throw
Oh,
down the field
he can
at
throw
all.
down the field. He just
I
got to
mean,
be
he can get it
running.
down there.
He got to be on the
He,
move. He can't throw from the pocket at all. But you roll him out, he can throw it down the field on the
oh, what's
rollout.
up, Jimmy?
But
So,
I have a question for you guys.
and yes, Harold
So
is going on some oven ribs. That's why he ain't
Yeah, they
talking right
oven
now.
ribs, Jimmy. So you know
They not good.
they
well,
not
whatever,
good.
man. They're not oven ribs, man. So I have another question. With the black quarterback right now,
Mm, right.
looking at Kaepernick's situation, because I think what shaped Kaepernick was his upbringing. That's the reason why we saw all the stuff that we seen with Kaepernick, good and bad. Okay,
Right.
you know,
And you got to take the
do
good
we?
with the bad.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got to.
Do we see NFL just like what you said? And I think it's a
Yeah,
very good
Jimmy,
point.
flag on the play, oven ribs. I'm sorry, Harold. I just wanted you to see that flag on the
I'm not even. I'm not even eating ribs.
play.
Well,
I'm
oven
not even
meat,
eating
whatever
ribs.
you're doing, you probably got oven fucking Jar Jar Bink shit. Who knows what you're doing? Make your
Anywho,
statement.
my point is this: you mentioned it with Cam. They're running Cam and everything else because they felt like Cam was indestructible. But I didn't never see Ben Roethlisberger, who is a big quarterback,
He can't
being
run
run
though.
that.
That motherfucker
He
is a
ain't never been
statue.
able to run.
He ain't never run.
He just
Matt
hard to
Ryan is
bring
faster
down.
than
Like,
Big Ben. He just big as
Okay,
shit.
okay,
yeah, like
okay.
I mean,
So,
Ben is what when Ben first came in the league, he was what 6'5", 260. You're not bringing that down.
And he bigger
but
now.
but I guess my point is with the black quarterback, you see them, saying, with the quarterback, hey, look, yeah, he's black, but you know, do they try to, because he's black, fit him and automatically in the stereotype, thinking that they're more than likely athletic, that he should be, out the pocket doing what Randall Cunningham did and what Mike Vick did
And
and that sort of thing.
and
Do
that's
we?
I can see that. What I see them is, and I don't care who feelings I hurt with this, but when you're drafting for a quarterback position, when you draft the white quarterback, they're thinking more of the Peyton Mannings and the Tom Brady's. The pocket passers, the
Right.
genius, the geniuses that's gonna, you give them a play and they already got 5 plays already ready for to go.
Hmm.
But when they draft the
Right.
black quarterback, they don't see a quarterback. They see an athlete they can run. They see a
Right.
running back with an arm. That's all they see.
Right.
Pretty much.
And because of the
I agree
fact
with
that,
that. 100%.
and I think it's one of those things that, okay, because of the black quarterback have been mostly mobile, right? I mean, it's been very few, you know, scrambling, well, pocket
Shit,
quarterbacks who are black.
shit. Young
Young,
Hmm?
Namath was
he
a scrambler. Namath was a scrambler.
No,
even
no. I'm talking
Roger
about. I'm talking about.
Dodger.
Terry
I'm talking
Bradshaw.
pure. I'm talking about purely black pocket quarterbacks compared to the mobile black quarterbacks. What I'm saying is that the only quarterback that I remember that was drafted as a purely pocket passer is Doug Williams. I mean, what I'm trying to think,
He wasn't drafted for. He wasn't drafted. He was drafted to be a backup. He just took over that spot.
but I'm really trying to think. Has there been any black quarterbacks that have been
Did they
drafted
say
that are
that? Did
purely?
they say that
They
about? They
did.
said that about
They did.
Jameis.
They said Jameis was the best running quarterback they have seen. That's how they addressed him.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And they used the
I
word
never heard that.
running
I
quarterback.
ain't never heard that.
Man, you better start listening to Mel Kiper and his little stupid
Well, I
ass.
don't give a.
But
He
it
is the
one I
last
guess
person. I'll listen
yeah,
to
Mel
my
Kiper is dog.
son about football before
Has
I
Mel
listen to
Kiper
Mel
been right
Kiper.
about stuff? Have he
Never.
been? He's been
No,
more wrong about stuff than he's been right. That's how I remember
he.
him.
I think what we're getting into the microcosm of the black quarterback who is very athletic, who can also throw in the pocket too. But it's almost like, and I agree with you, Tony. It's almost like, well, if I'm automatically looking at a black quarterback, then I want someone that can move outside the pocket instead of looking at his skills just being in the pocket. I think Teddy Bridgewater, and one scout said this
Teddy
about
Bridgewater.
Teddy,
Teddy Bridgewater could have been great if he
right?
hadn't
If
went
it
with
wasn't
his
for his knee
James.
thing, and they said that he, coming out of Louisville, was an excellent quarterback that dissects defenses, that can break down the defense, that can read the defense.
He could. He
And
still can.
Yeah,
He
he
still
still
can.
can.
You see what he did to Dallas?
Yeah,
But
he tossed us up. Hey, I'm still
but
Cowboys, but he tossed us up.
but I guess my point is that one, when have
That's
we
a
seen
great.
a black
Yeah,
quarterback
I forgot about
that
Josh Freeman.
that
He
was
was
not?
that. He was a black pocket quarterback because he wasn't mobile at all.
And he didn't
That
Yeah,
last but
afro.
a year.
That afro. No, he lasted three. He lasted
Oh,
three
okay.
years because he had a real good year. His second season, he had a real good solid year, and then it just disappeared.
you know what? You know what? I'll take. All right, it's two quarterbacks I can name that are purely pocket that they went off arm strength and everything else. Now it's Byron Leftwich. But Byron was pretty big, but Byron was not mobile at all.
He wasn't.
And the other
Willie
one,
Thrower. Willie Thrower.
what about Jamarcus Jamarcus Russell? He couldn't read shit. But I
That
mean, he
motherfucker went.
wasn't
Russell couldn't.
he
We
wasn't
don't
mobile,
count
but
him.
he had a big arm. All
Can
right.
we? Do we really want to count him?
What about Randall Cunningham? What about
That's
him?
what I was gonna say. Randall Cunningham
Randall
or
Cunningham was
Culpepper. Yeah, Culpepper wasn't mobile.
Dante Culpepper. Yep.
You know
Yeah,
what?
and he
Warren
could throw the
Moon.
ball.
Nah,
Yeah.
he ran a little. He
No,
ran.
Warren Moon could move.
Yeah, but Warren
He can
Moon was
move.
known because of what he did in the CFL, and then he
Right.
came down
I
to the
forgot about
NFL.
I forgot about his CFL days where he was just beasting everybody he could.
Yeah, so it's almost like you run into kind of that thing now that the black quarterback, because he's so good athletically, that they forget about the fact that these guys can make throws while they're in the pocket. I mean, if you
Well,
look at
you see who you
Mahomes,
see. That's exactly what I was going to say. You see who
Mahomes is
started.
kind of changing the game a
You
little
see
bit.
who
But
started. No, he's kind of suffering now.
well,
You
he's
want to know
suffering.
why?
Yeah,
You want to know
He's
why? Because they figured his ass out.
yeah.
What
I think they
happens
He
in the
all
figured
N-
out
he
the
got.
scheme.
I
No,
mean,
think
I don't
about
want to diminish his skills, but
Right.
he really
fuck
just
that.
has
I'm
a
gonna do it.
deep ball. He really just
Look
has a
at it.
deep ball.
Let's just take your just take your standard quarterback, black, white, whatever. Just take your
Hmm.
standard top of the mill quarterback.
Hmm.
Come in first year in the league, beast the league because a lot of them have come in and just taken the league by storm.
Right.
Second year come in, they go down. Why? Because now the NFL has NFL level tapes on them, and now they can scheme against what he does. And
Hmm.
this goes back to the OC and the quarterback getting together. Okay, what do we need to do to counter now what they're doing on me? And
Hmm.
then in year three, that's when you're supposed to see a change for the better. And then you start elevating more. You're not seeing that with some of these quarterbacks because they rely on the athleticism too much.
Mm.
That's
Tony,
all they're
that's a
doing.
good point.
That and
That yeah, you know what? I
that
agree.
and
I
Think
I
agree.
feel like
think about every first year quarterback that's come
that.
in
No,
and just beasted the league, and then this very
the
next year it's a
no.
down year.
Well, no, I agree. But the other side of that is I feel like there needs to be a change in NFL coaching because you got a lot of NFL coaches who don't know how to coach a Cam Newton
And also,
or you know what I'm saying, like
but
or
also what goes along with that is your offense coordinator changes. All it can be shit. Matt Ryan has had 7 coordinators. It's like what the? How many has Dak been through?
two,
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 two.
two.
Shit. So you talking about that new coordinator come in now? He comes in with a whole new scheme. Now your quarterback got on a whole new system.
So do you think that it takes a mobile quarterback or a quarterback in the breed of Cunningham's and a Lamar Jackson that can only coach a Lamar Jackson or Mahomes coming out? Because there are a lot of
No,
coaches,
but
yeah, they don't.
you need somebody that has the foresight to adjust their scheme for that quarterback. Because if you can't like honestly, I don't think a coordinator. Let's just take McDaniel's. Been with Tom Brady for what a decade.
Mm-hmm.
You put him on a
Yeah.
team
And
with
came
Russell.
back.
You put him on Seattle with Russell Wilson. That scheme not gonna work.
That ain't
No,
gonna
no, it won't. It won't. You're
So
right. You're right about that.
unless McDaniel can change his scheme to fit what Russell Wilson can do,
and that you know
it's
what, and
gonna be
this
a
is
problem.
but and I mean that was the same thing in Dallas with Cherry Pop. He
Andy
had to
Dalton.
change it. Nah, the other one.
Jason Garrett. Come
The
on,
other
Jason Garrett.
ginger.
Look, y'all can hate on Jason Garrett, but he's still a good offensive coordinator.
He
No, he's
is if
not.
you got the right.
Yes, he
He is
is.
if you got the right court. If you
He
got a
doesn't make.
Tony Romo, if you got a Tony Romo style quarterback, he is a
He
good
is
offensive
perfect.
coordinator.
He is perfect
But
for that style.
somebody like Dak, somebody like Daniel Jones, bro,
Nope,
he's terrible.
because he don't make them adjustments.
Nope, at all.
I mean,
I'm
so let
telling
me
you,
ask
when
you
Matt
this.
give me Daniel Jones in 2 years. If he don't want to stay in New York, when Matt Ryan retire after next year, he can come down here.
But
I'll
you
be
know,
more than
okay,
happy.
all right. So back to your point about Mahomes. We remember we've seen the same thing about Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson has gotten better. I don't see any regression,
But
at least
but
not
look
yet,
at what he
in
did.
Lamar Jackson.
His second year, he had to make adjustments. Now look at him now. His presence in the pocket way better than year
Way
one.
better than way
Oh
Way
yeah,
better,
I
better.
agree.
way
Yeah,
better.
I
Because think
agree.
about it. Think about it. Year two, they was like, he can't beat us with the pass at all.
And they knew, and he couldn't.
And they knew it. And he couldn't. And that's how he lost game. But now, hey, watch him. Because what
Yeah.
happens? They roll him out, they move that pocket, they take advantage of his mobility,
Hmm.
and that's how you work it. It's the same thing they did with Steve Young. When they went from Montana to Young, you went from a semi statue to
You
100%
know,
mobile. And you
you
Hmm.
know
know,
what happened? They got another title.
I've always said if you draft a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, you
Your
have to
offensive
bring
coordinator
up
better be
one of
ready.
his coaches. You have to bring up one of his coaches from whatever school he went to.
Quarterback coach, somebody.
You have to bring
That's
one of
hard to
his
do.
coaches.
That's hard. That's hard to do though.
No, it's
That's
not.
that's very hard
How is it
No, it's not.
hard?
How is it
because
hard?
a lot of these quarterback coaches in college, they're trying to get on at another spot somewhere so that they
You
are
think so?
offensive coordinator.
So
So
you
It's
you would
hard to
take
telling
an
do.
me
offensive coordinator coach in
you
college
telling me
over a
that
coaching job in the
uh,
NFL?
Yeah,
Nah,
but I
bro.
mean, there are a lot of college coaches who
a
prefer to stay in
quarterback coach
college.
in college is probably making what 500, which is great money, but he's probably making what 500,000 a year.
Nah, less than that.
It's not. Yeah,
As a QB coach,
but
he's making
it's
less
not
than
even
that.
that. You got to think about it. If
He comes to the NFL with, let's just say, Lamar Jackson. So let's just say one of Lamar Jackson's college QB coaches comes to the NFL with him. You think he's not going to get paid?
it ain't even that, it's
Not
You
his
think
not
he's
as
not
insight
going
much
to get
as
paid?
on.
You
It doesn't
think
not
he's
as
even.
not
much
going to
as
see
if
at
he
least 2 million a year?
Let
not
me
as
tell you
much.
what's gonna
No,
happen. He won't
a
get 2 million
quarterback
a year.
coach. No, he won't. No,
He
no.
won't get 2 million. But
He'll
you know
make
what he gonna
more
get.
as an offensive coordinator in college than as a QB coach in the NFL.
But you know what he gonna get? He gonna get that exposure when Lamar do right or wrong. If he get up here and he take
That's all I'm
Lamar
saying.
and Lamar turn in
Getting
MVP
money.
night numbers, that QB coach gonna get credit for that. And guess what? His stock just does. He
How
turns
you
into the
think?
next
How you think?
enemy.
How you think? How you think? What's the name? Got his due, and now he offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, 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 no question about it. But he didn't come up from college though.
He didn't
He
come up
was
from college, but but Tony Romo and a good Tony Romo, a
mhm.
Regular
non-injured
season,
Tony Romo,
regular season, Tony Romo.
And Dak Prescott, yeah, regular season Tony Romo, and Dak Prescott was turning in MVP numbers, and what did they do?
No, look, I agree with you as far as that. My point is that it is
Uh
hard.
oh.
It's not a simple. Hey, look, well, if we draft a quarterback, we're gonna go ahead and get his QB coach too. A
What up,
lot of these
AC?
QB coaches move on to other schools. No, my boy AC, what's happening?
What's
What
up,
is
man? What's up,
this?
fellas?
Man, I'm coming to
Oh,
Texas just to
good
see
lord.
AC, just because I don't care about nobody else but AC. That is it.
We got
Oh, that's
AC in
my
the
dude.
house. What's
That is my
happening,
dude.
dude?
Whoa,
That is
now
my dude.
what's up, fellas? What's happening?
That's my
What's
dude. Forever. Forever.
So Tony, what's
Oh,
next? What are we talking about next since AC is here?
I mean, well, we just
Oh,
talked about Cap and his situation, AC. I ain't know if you wanted to chime in on that. I don't know if you watched it, because
did
of
you
course, you
watch
know,
it,
I said
AC?
I
I
wasn't gonna watch it.
I ain't get a chance to watch it. Shit, I've been working, man. I don't know what the hell y'all ready. But my look, my previous stance on Kaepernick on Facebook still stand. Kaepernick was pretty much right about everything he said. The league, I think, with the email scandal with Washington, you know, the reason why the dead them don't want them emails to come out because it's got to be something in there too
Right.
Oh,
that
yeah, I
circles
agree with
back
that.
to Cap. You know, you're gonna find out some people colluded literally, which goes back to when Cap had his what was it? I guess it was an unemployment case, basically what he had, and that lawyer he had, Galagos, whatever his name is, Mark Galagos, whatever the lawyer name was. That dude there was a pit bull in the courtroom, and when his ass got to digging, all of a sudden NFL wanted to settle. So you know it was something there that was gonna prove their point if it would have went to court.
Yep.
And I think that fallout was also gonna be wrapped up in them emails with the Redskins because they said I read an article where they
That's
said
what I
basically
heard.
Dan Snyder and Jerry Jones was kind of the owners meeting, basically saying, you know, forget Cap, and you know he ain't say forget it, but
Of course. And he
them,
probably didn't say Cap.
hell no,
Yeah, he probably didn't say Cap.
hell no,
He didn't
they
say
were, you
Cap
know,
at all.
so they were like, you know what, them two, if nobody else had a lot to say about Kaepernick not getting back in the league. So if that Snyder raggedy ass was co-signing with Jerry Jones, you already know some shit in them emails that was gonna get them boys in trouble and make black folk really side-eye the NFL. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you know, Cap ain't said a lot in all these years, but everything that people assumed was being said has actually come to fruition. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, shit, the dude wasn't wrong. But that's just me basically saying whatever the hell I felt without knowing whatever the hell y'all talked about the whole time. So
I,
I
th-
mean,
I
that's
think
I
I
agree
was
with
more
most of that.
interested from the point of view. Not, and I'm leaving the whole NFL thing out with Kaepernick for a second. I'm looking at the point of view of everything that he experienced as a biracial kid. Now, of course, I'm not biracial, but
I
everything
am.
that he's
If you couldn't
okay.
tell,
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
we kind of knew that. You know, oh,
look,
I
doggone.
mean,
my half biracial and shit. That's all I got.
your hair's elder.
Hey, that's all Grandma left me, man. Was the damn
Yo,
Olive Gray
Tony,
Street.
Tony.
Hmm?
So, what do you mix with? Italian? You mix with Italian?
White and Indian,
My man say
Because
mix
you
like
look
you a damn
just
vodka screwdriver.
don't
pretty
Tony
much.
look like Franco Harris?
I mean, I've heard that before.
You
Like
look
when I was
exactly like
when I
Franco
was
Harris.
smaller, when I was in high school, I was Gregory Hines because I was thin, had a little thin frame. But I was always Gregory Hines. I was like,
So
all
how
right, whatever.
so how far back does the white part go, Tony? I mean, is it
Oh, it goes back pretty far. It's
okay?
not just like recent shit. It's like ancestors. Yeah.
Yeah, like
It
see,
ain't it
all my people look like you except for me. I mean, all my folk, my grandma and them, all of them your color and lighter. I'm the blackest one in the
yeah.
family. You know,
So you probably take after somebody's side. Yeah, yeah.
my daddy black is that's night, so it balanced out.
I
That's
put
what
you
I
like
say.
this. I put you like this. Dad, mom side of the
Right there,
family.
right
That's
there,
it. And then
right
it
there.
splits.
Oh,
And then it splits. That's
Yeah,
all it is. It's
my
all
mama.
well,
of it.
what I was about to say because I remember again going to the scene of the girlfriends, but then I do remember this. So there's a scene where he's playing baseball. Kaepernick was
Mhm.
a hellified baseball pitcher, by the way.
That what he was.
He
I heard about
yeah
that one.
Yeah, I
he
heard about
was
them.
man. Yeah, that dude was throwing 92 at 13, 14 years old. That
Mm.
is just yeah. I mean, man, the Cubs was about to sign him. If you know, he had to make a hard. Well, it wasn't hard for him because he loved football. But anyway, so there's a scene when the coach is saying, "Hey, look, you know, you can't wear cornrows." I remember this because it reminded me about this time in high school, and they were trying to convince Cap that hey, look, this is what you should do and that sort of thing. And I remember I was talking about my college plans, and the very first college out this teacher's mouth that she said I should go to is Morehouse. Now, Morehouse is a great school. There's no shame in going to Morehouse. But to me, Morehouse wasn't even on my radar. I just didn't want to go to Morehouse. I want to go someplace else. But why a black college? Because I'm black. It's kind of one of the same things that they were trying to do to him. And so I understand from an American story period. as a Black American, I understand exactly why he has done some of the things. Not that I agree, but I understand.
I'm
So
gonna see your point though, Harold. When you finish, I'm gonna see your point what you just raised. Go ahead.
Here we go.
go ahead. I'm done. I'm done.
Well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
give
because
you
we need
one
to move
better
on
than
to
that.
the next topic.
All right. Well, look, Harold. At least your counselor at least told you to go to a college, whether it was black or not. Our counselor was like, "Hey, you need to get a trade." I'm like,
Yeah.
Bruh,
I'm like, how the fuck is college not even the plan for me? And then
let me, bruh.
let me
Right.
tell you how I ended up at HBCU though. Because I mean, when I got out of high school, I skipped the military part. I go to the college. I went to Southern University of Shreveport, the little old junior college and shit. When I finished there, I was like, man, I'm gonna take my ass down here to the Northeast, which is now the University of Louisiana Monroe, but it was Northeast then. And I worked at the casino, so I was gonna commute. About an hour and a half, 2 days after we to go to school. I'm like, man, I'm gonna go down here. I wasn't necessarily thinking about the white folks, but I was like, I'm gonna go down here to Northeast because my experience at Southern was kind of suspect. So when I get down there and I'm taking a tour of the school, I'm talking to the dean of the business department. This cat basically tell me he don't think I want to drive down the highway to come to school and shit. He's like, man, I don't really know if you want to do that. It's a drive, it's this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Basically talked me out of, I don't need to bring my black ass Northeast. So on the way back to Shreveport, I stopped at Grambling, got me an application, talked to the people walking around the school. I was like, I'm gonna take my black ass where my people at, because apparently the white folk don't want me at their school. So that's how I ended up going to Grambling, because the dean of the business department told me to basically go fuck myself. I wasn't welcome down there. And that's the loosely translated version of that right there. But
Yeah, that sounds about white. I mean, right?
yeah. Like I said, wasn't nobody encouraging my black ass to go to school, but the I Love White counselor, Miss Childs, everybody black, she told get a trade. She ain't encouraged nobody to go to college.
Bro,
You
our
that.
counselor, let me tell you something. My high school, Frederick Douglass, the great Frederick Douglass, back in the 80s, was a magnet school, one of the best in the South. If even our fucking thugs were smart.
I know about Frederick Douglass, by the way. I do.
You have to, because in the 80s and 90s, we was beasting anybody that came in our area in academics. We sucked at football, but we had a good basketball team. But I put it like this: my class had 600 kids in it. All 600 graduated. The lowest GPA was a 3.7 out of 600 black kids.
Dang.
The top percentile of our school, of my class, had 4.4 or higher in a GPA. And that's not weighted. That's a standard GPA. We didn't have my school. Our teacher was like, whatever you get, that's what you get. We're not playing games. You want this grade, you earn this grade. I was taking calculus in the 9th grade for no fucking reason. I was like, seriously? But those are the schools.
Calculus, I'd quit school. I'm telling you that right now.
I was trying to be an electrical engineer, dude. I needed all the math I could get. And I was good at it.
I knew
But
early in life that wasn't me.
The teachers at that school, you were their kids. They was responsible for you. All the teachers liked you. Now the counselors was on some bullshit. Nobody liked the counselors. But the teachers and the principals, they was about them kids. And they didn't let you fail. If you weren't coming to school, the principal came to your house looking for you. He wasn't playing games like that. He's like, nah, where does he live? Let's go. It's been many days. Oh man. Douglas, Mays, Harper, even Thurl, Westlake.
See, you had the black experience, brother. I went to Captain Shreve, man. If you were black at that school, that's because you lived within the boundaries.
Bruh, we literally had 7 schools within 10 miles of each other. And all of them had standards like that. They weren't playing.
Let me tell you what's happening now that I'm starting to see. I'm not going to say all schools. I can only go by the experience I'm experiencing right now. So I have a older son that goes to high school here in Fort Worth. Who in Texas?
His name is Washington.
No. So
look, we can't have all serious conversations. We got to joke every now and then.
So here's the thing, right? You know how Texas high school football is. If you don't know,
oh yeah, I know. Oh, we know.
I mean,
trust me.
Yeah, to me, Prior to me moving here, I never seen anything like it, and it's big money here. But what I'm starting to see, the the black kids who have a chance to play at the next level, they're having the soft bigotry of education. So it's no longer hey, well, it's in reverse. It's no longer hey, well, we know you look like this, so it's almost like, well, we expect you to be a janitor or something like that. We know you got a chance to play at school, so now it's like for the benefit of school, we're gonna allow you through, which is just as bad.
It is.
That's just as bad. It's to the point now that you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna lower the standard for him because I know he has a chance to go to school. And to me, I'm like, no. If he's not cutting the grades, if he's not studying, then he should not be playing ball. That's just how it is. We've got to, as a parent, look, I'm a parent. We're all parents. I'm starting my kid right now on training because I think he has potential. But I'll be damned if I'm going to sit there and allow the standards to be lowered just to push him through. That is not going to happen because it's only what less than 1% chance that you'll even make it to the NFL.
That's true.
And he has to be prepared in case that does not happen. And it's like now. And here's the other thing, and a lot of people may not like what I have to say. I do not fault necessarily white people for this or the system. This accountability is on us now, because if a kid has talent, and I'm a mother or a father, and I'm allowing this to happen, and I'm seeing this as my kid only way out to financial success, then that's on me, the parent, and that's something I'll tell you the story, and I hate being long. I went to my kids'
That's the R.
middle school football game.
That's an R. Kelly situation. That's an R. Kelly situation without the sex.
No, all right. So
I'm talking about what you're talking about as far as.
Oh yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying.
Through, that's the R. Kelly situation without the sexual.
Yeah. I
Exactly
agree. So I'm in the stands, right? So in middle school football, they have like 2 varsity teams, right? So my son's playing. The other team they're throwing the football on the sideline, and the football kind of got in the field of play. And so one of the parents was like, "Hey, y'all need to cut that out." One of the godparents, and they looked at him and was like, "Hey, we all right." And I'm like, "Hey, look, no, you're not gonna do that." This mom got up and said, "Hey, well, if the coaches are okay with it, why are y'all talking about boy like that? Why?" And immediately the other kid, the other father was like, "I'll go down there and whip that boy's ass." And and immediately, we were talking. I was like, you know what? And this is not putting that on single moms. I'm not saying that. But the thing is that the worst thing you can be is an enabler. And if you are allowing your kid to backtalk authority, and you're allowing your kid to just go by half-ass in school, and you are allowing your kid to do stuff with no repercussions or consequences with that, then to me, you're the problem. You're the problem. You are, if you, and granted, for the single moms out there, I understand that there are a lot of moms that want to protect their kids, but that's not protection. That's not protection. That is not. You're doing the worst thing besides abandoning your kid. You're doing the worst thing besides abuse and abandonment, and that's enabling.
That's why I said, that's why I feel like, like how Tony feels about Kaepernick. Like, so when people bring up Kaepernick, what I'm saying? Like, because the message is lost. If you look at everything that go on with parents and football and basketball, the message is lost. And even now in baseball, because baseball used to not be that way, but even now, in the baseball forming system, it's starting to get like this.
Even though it's not a lot of African Americans that play baseball anymore, but that's another topic.
Ain't that shit like 3% now? And it used to be like
right. It's
5.
like it's like 2.5, dude. It used to be like it used to be like 17. It used to be huge.
Oh, hey, look,
now
I want you to document something though. Document this, Tony. This is one of the few times I'm agreeing with Harold on some shit. Let's write that down.
I mean, Every dog has his day.
The clock,
Yeah.
the broke clock, right twice a day. But
There you go.
hey, look, when I tell you though, man, I'm 100% on that enabling shit, man, with these people. I can't stand it, cuz I mean, look, you can't enable these kids. These,
No, you
man,
can't.
myself, bro. I understood some shit later on in life that the struggle, I guess, is what made me who I am. Not having nothing, you know what I'm saying? Growing up poor and shit in Louisiana, like I had to make it. I ain't had no choice. And you
Right.
think, man, you get kids, you have kids or kids around you, whatever your circumstance is, and you feel like, you know what, if I give this kid the advantages I didn't have, scientifically in my mind, you supposed to be able to make it. You ain't got the struggle. You ain't got to worry about the lights being cut off and no shit. You got food in the refrigerator. There ain't no damn ramen noodles. You got all the tools and the things you need to make it. And instead, these
Right.
bastards are soft. They content with nothing.
There you are.
And then be
No,
mad.
for real.
And then be mad, man, when like if you're trying to hold them accountable. Like,
Yeah.
so I was like, man, I don't know if it's
Or
a black thing.
with these new generation, they don't even get mad. They just shut down on
Yeah, this look,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like what the hell is that
shut
shit?
down and cry.
And
Yeah.
and again, we're getting off topic, but last thing we're gonna talk about this, and we're gonna get back on topic.
Let's go.
Is I'm agreeing with y'all. It's as much on the parents as it is the kids. But I always think it's more so on the parents because you've already been through it.
hmm
You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
you know what's gonna be there at the end because that's where you are right now. Now it's up to
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
to figure out how to make them better than you. That's how I
Agreed.
was raised. My parents was like, my only job is to make you a better person than I was.
That's
That's it.
real talk. That's real talk. Ain't that when my parents tell me that shit? Like, good luck. Don't get nobody
Shit,
pregnant. That's
shit.
all
My
I
dad,
Well, mine definitely told me
hey,
that last part.
Yeah.
my dad was solid army vet when he worked at the old seal test ice cream plant back when they were big. We didn't have a lot. We had enough. I mean, we weren't poor. I had secondhand clothes.
Must be
I didn't
nice.
care. I didn't care. But he was like, Mom, hey, all that shit he did to me as a child, yeah, it made me different.
I had 5 pair
Man.
of blue rustlers. That's what I had, cuz they was all
Bro,
the same color.
I had 5 pairs of the same jeans, and I loved all of them. It
Look,
was like,
but then my grandma put the patch on the outside of the knee when I tore them up. I'm going to
Man.
no,
school
that's
like a
not
whole.
how it works.
Man.
All
You
right,
know,
back on
I
topic.
remember.
Stop it.
It,
No, no
yeah.
more.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
No
Yeah. Go
more.
ahead.
Oh,
Go
look,
ahead. Go ahead. Go
Stop.
ahead.
y'all go ahead. I gotta jump out.
Now,
Yeah, I gotta go do some shit. Keep talking to me.
no, because you need to see what's about to happen. You need to see this.
Let me not let the water burn. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm
Because
watching.
we about to talk about the college football the playoff rankings.
I told
Oh
y'all
I'll
what was
just,
gonna
boy.
happen.
yep.
I told y'all what was gonna
Yo,
happen.
this
Y'all
Man,
thought I was lying.
So
I'm out of
Aaron,
this.
this
I'm gonna mute
this whole
myself.
thing is
I'm just
this
gonna mute
playoff is going to
myself
be
on this.
ugly.
I'm
This
muting
playoff going
look,
to
myself
be
on
ugly.
this.
I
you
told
can
y'all. I
God, you
told
can
y'all.
Why was he
say
mute
you can
himself?
because he's upset about Oklahoma not being ranked anywhere in this. Look, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be a point that can't none of y'all. It's gonna be something that y'all can't argue. The rankings right now are going to take care of themselves in 3 weeks. Period.
What happens in 3 weeks?
Well, because the Big Ten
Georgia
still got to
plays
play each other. All
Oh,
of the
okay. You're
Big
talking about the
Ten still
conference
got to
Michigan.
play
championship.
each
Okay,
other.
Mich-
okay, okay.
Michigan State still has to play Ohio State next and Penn State. Michigan still has to play Ohio State. All those
Right.
teams that I just named are ranked in the top 10. If Alabama loses to Georgia,
So if all
they're
of them
out.
lose once,
It
Man, you
depends
know
because
what?
right
This
now,
you know what? And I just and
who
by the
gonna lose
life
to
of
who
me,
though? Because Michigan already lost to Michigan State.
somebody really needs to explain Oregon. I can get over
yeah.
Michigan. I can get over Michigan. I can get over Michigan, Michigan State,
They
and
got that
Ohio
one
State.
impressive
I
win.
need
They
somebody
got that.
to explain Oregon.
They beat number 4 Ohio State,
But here's
and they beat them
here's the question.
convincingly. They beat them
Here's
convincingly.
what here's what
Who
I
is they lost
see.
to? Who is Oregon lost to?
Shit, well, in I mean,
They lost to
Who has
in the Pac 100, who is it for them to lose to?
they beat Ohio? They
Other
beat the
than
big name.
Colorado, I guess
They beat
Colorado.
the big name school on their schedule at the time that squad was ranked in the top
Who was the
percentile of the rankings, right or wrong.
At Ohio State. At Ohio State, I
They
might as well
won
add too.
at
It was an
they
away
won
game.
at Ohio State. How
How do
many
you even
games
spell
does Ohio
Oregon?
State?
How do you spell Oregon?
Because you try to spell Oklahoma. How many games does
Here's,
Ohio State lose at Ohio State?
I mean, Ohio State hardly, very rarely loses at home. So the
So
fact that
you
Oregon came in and beat them,
Oregon
you
was a
know,
ranked squad. They were a lower
yeah,
they were a lower ranked squad going up against an undefeated, highly ranked Ohio State squad at their house, and they convincingly defeated them. It wasn't like they squeaked by.
It wasn't. It
They
wasn't
got
right.
in it.
convincingly.
It
They
was
won
convincing.
by. They won by a touchdown.
They dominated Ohio State in every facet of that game.
Like
Yeah,
who the
yeah,
Every
it
fuck is
was.
facet.
I know it was
who
by a
the fuck
touchdown,
is
but
Stony
it
Brook? They
wasn't.
lost to Stanford. Who the fuck is Stony Brook? I've never even heard of Stony Brook. That's a
Who
cool
the what?
name though, but I've never heard of That's you know what I'm
But
saying? Like
again,
Here,
they still
here's
have
my
that one dominant win that you need on your resume that Cincinnati does not have.
here's my take on this. I think we very well. I hate to say this because I love the playoffs. I do. But this very well could be. We already know who the national champion is before we even get to the playoffs. It very well. If we look at it, if of course, we already established if Georgia
I
beats
feel like
Alabama in the
Harold is
conference
finna say
championship.
something real crazy
No,
right
no,
now.
no, no. Look.
Just get ready
Think
to
about
mute
it.
him.
When if Georgia beats Alabama in the conference championship, then we know
It's no
Alabama
if.
ends in
First, Alabama
right.
got to make it to the conference championship.
Because they still got
True.
Auburn, and we all know how that game
Who-
goes.
Look, hey,
And
look, as we well know, I'm a Bama fan, but after that damn game against LSU,
Y'all
yeah, yeah.
y'all look vulnerable.
So
woo,
okay, so let's move
Bo
on. Let's
Nix is
move
a
to
better
Big Ten.
quarterback than anybody on LSU.
So let's say Ohio State loses to Michigan. Let's
Okay.
just say Michigan loses to Penn State or whatever. You very
Michigan
well could
loses to Penn
have.
State.
I'm just saying what if. I'm just
If
saying what if.
Michigan loses
Right.
another game, that's 2 losses and they're done.
Right. And if Ohio
Well, if
State,
any one of
um,
them have another loss, they're
which is
done.
very
But
possible,
somebody
it's
gotta
very
lose.
And
possible all 3 of those teams can have 2 losses. So what do
and
you
then you
do?
got to look
Because
at
then you got Oregon. Then you got
We don't put
Oregon.
Oregon.
we don't
If
put
Oregon
Cincinnati in there. No, Oregon.
But my question is,
Oregon
I'll put
so
Alabama in there with 2 losses before I put a Cincinnati or
so
Oregon in there.
that's my point. You very well for the first time we can have a 2 loss squad in there. We very well could have one because you got
honestly,
Georgia and you got let's just say a 2 loss Alabama and a Cincinnati and well you have if you have
let me
Oklahoma.
let
I
me
mean
say this.
man, this could be
Look,
ugly.
pull up Ohio State's schedule because I know they end in Michigan, right?
Right.
They've already have they played Michigan State and beat them?
who?
Ohio
Is
State
that
has not played Michigan State.
Nah, they gotta
No,
play. They gotta play
they
Michigan
play
so
State.
Michigan State in
if
2
They gotta
weeks.
play both of them. They
They
gotta
end
play
in
Michigan and
Michigan,
Michigan.
so
Yeah.
it's
so
and then
is
they got Purdue. So Ohio State, that's
Ohio
that's
State might
that's
be out because
that's
Purdue
3
might kill
potential
them.
losses.
Purdue
Right.
might, so you might not have to worry about Ohio State anymore.
What about Michigan State?
Shit, anybody gotta worry about them.
You ain't
Michigan
got to worry
State
about
go.
them.
So
They're gonna
Michigan
lose.
State go. Michigan State. That's all you need
Michigan
to worry
State
about.
gonna lose to Ohio State or Penn State for no reason.
and
They ain't
let's say Oklahoma loses to Oklahoma State,
I don't see that
then
happening, but
That's
okay,
not happening.
I don't see that. Let
Oklahoma
me tell you
State is
something.
not they're
It's
Let
a
me
not
tell you something.
possibility.
scrubs. I
It's
mean,
a
If
That's
possibility.
not happening.
if
it's possible.
Oklahoma wins out and Ohio
They're in.
State, Michigan State, and Michigan all have two losses, Oklahoma's in.
Oh yeah, no
That's
question.
easy. That's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Oregon
You
is
have to
still in
put in.
there, and Georgia's in there, and Alabama
I
would
mean,
be in if they beat Georgia.
nah, I think Alabama. Well, yeah, if they beat
If
Georgia, but
Alabama
yeah,
beats Georgia, Georgia stays in because you cannot
yeah,
argue
no question.
that they have beaten 5 ranked squads
Yeah,
throughout the
no
season.
question, no question. I agree, but I think if Alabama
Now,
loses, and that same scenario which you talked about with Oklahoma getting in, then you have to let a Cincinnati in. They're undefeated. I mean, I mean, how can you
No, I don't have
justify
to let
undefeated?
Cincinnati in nothing.
If they're undefeated, how do you justify them being out and having a team
Who
with
is
2 losses in over
Cincinnati?
them? I,
I
if
mean,
you're part
I
of
mean,
the committee,
it,
how do you justify Cincinnati not
Oh,
being
I
in
mean,
in
I
a
can see why.
2-loss team?
Let me
Okay,
let
and
me
what
let
let
would
me
me
you
tell you
say?
something.
rephrase that.
In
Let me
all
let me
honesty, if we
let me
take
take my angriness back. Let me take my angriness back
yes, because
because
Oklahoma has made it so
Oklahoma
far.
has
So,
only beaten. Well, no, they've only beaten one ranked team, which is Texas. So okay, I'm gonna
but
take my
Texas, you can't.
I'm gonna take
That's
my
about it.
angriness back.
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
just
Is
off
Oklahoma
Texas
strictly
still
beating
that.
ranked? Is
Oklahoma
Texas still
beating
ranked?
Texas. No,
Yeah,
they're
21.
not.
No, they're not
Yeah,
ranked
yeah.
now,
See,
but
They're not ranked.
yeah.
Oklahoma beating Texas is like Cincinnati beating Notre Dame. Same
Mm,
weight. It's the
Yep.
same weight.
I
Yep.
mean,
I agree. I
Texas
agree.
It's
I
the
agree
same
prime.
weight.
100% with that.
Hold on,
I
hold
agree
on.
100% with that.
Wait a minute though. What Notre Dame at right now in the ranking? What they at?
Notre Dame is ninth.
They ninth.
They
Yeah.
won't get in.
They won't
Notre
get in.
Dame won't get in.
A
They
lot of
won't
things
get
got
Yeah.
to
in.
go wrong. Look, if they was at 7, I say they
If
got an
no,
outside shot.
Notre Dame at 9. If Ohio State has 2 losses, Ohio State will make it before Notre Dame will.
Let me tell you something. Hey, but I know the committee got a lot of grief though about moving Michigan up and letting Michigan State slide back down the ramp a little
I
bit.
do not get that at all. I do
Yeah,
not
I
Look,
don't
understand.
know.
and
They
then
should have
I
flip flopped.
don't
They
get
should have
that at
flip
all.
flopped
look,
them.
then the excuse to do game was like, we like Michigan. They gotta, they look
they
good
lost
basically
to
on the field.
Purdue.
And,
They lost
I
to
mean,
Purdue.
Well, what they're
Purdue
saying,
out
shit
here
rigged
beating
like
ranked teams.
yeah.
what they're saying about how Michigan played was, yes, Michigan State was up by like 30, and Michigan came back on to show that they could play. That's their thought. But I'm like, it's not. We don't take games by halves. We take the entire game.
Boy, y'all made
Right.
that shit up.
I
Only
just
Scotty
don't
Pippen.
But
We
like
understand.
I
don't want to
said,
talk about
Purdue might just say fuck it,
it. I'm
and
mad.
Purdue. Let me tell you something. Purdue will fuck around and make it before Notre Dame will. If Purdue beats
I
Ohio, if Purdue beats Ohio State, it's nowhere in hell they don't jump into the top 10. It is nowhere in
I,
hell they don't. They have knocked out
I
3 top 4
yeah,
teams,
yeah, but Purdue
bruh.
has lost also 2 or 3 games, haven't
They
they?
ain't lost 3
Yeah.
games. You're correct, but they done knocked off 3 top 4 teams, bruh. I'm putting them in my top 10 just for shits and giggles.
Yeah. Okay, I get that, but Purdue being in the playoffs, that ain't gonna happen. They ain't gonna put a 3-loss.
look,
They're not gonna.
the
They're
best
not
Playoff.
gonna beat Ohio.
the best thing Purdue do is make chicken. Them little chicken they sell at Walmart. The little
That's
Purdue
not the
chicken.
same Purdue, dude. Shut up.
Hey,
That's
you
not
know,
the
hey,
same shit.
I know,
It's same
That's
but
shit.
my
PER.
point is
That's
that shit better than
PER.
Purdue itself. That's all I'm saying. That chicken got a
AC,
better chance to get to the playoffs than their goddamn team.
AC, just
Hey,
shut up.
they do sell. Hey, I kind of wonder about they chicken because when you fry it, it be juicy.
All right,
Oh,
Man,
it's got extra embryos in it. It's got extra
we
embryos.
are
Don't think
talking
it don't.
about Purdue and Purdue, 2 different spellings
We talking about
for the
hey,
Purdue boy.
publicists out
hey,
there.
man, look at me. I had a hard day. Let me make my jokes. Goddamn it, let me just do it. Don't be raining on me like my name Chris Demmer. Stop it.
Wow.
Oh, sneak diss. That was a sneak diss.
I approve shenanigans. I mean, if we want to, crack
Chicanery.
jokes, if we want to crack jokes, we can talk about the Broncos and the Cowboys.
Ooh,
Those
hold
are
on.
jokes all day
Y'all
long.
start. Look, y'all start. I'm gonna come right back. Y'all go ahead. That's a good joke.
Here
How
we
about them
go.
Cowboys?
Anyway,
Let's talk
Look,
about it. Let's talk about it.
And guess
Let's
what?
talk
Y'all got
about it.
another loss coming Sunday. Play with me. What's up? We
I
making a
ain't,
bet
I
on
play
ain't
what?
even gonna
Sunday.
say.
Making a bet?
I
We
ain't
making a
even
Who
gonna
bet?
play
say nothing.
Sunday?
You play us.
Yeah, we
Oh,
play Falcons.
Atlanta. We play the
Yeah,
Falcons Sunday.
it's at
What's up?
home. It's at home though.
What's
It's at
up?
home. But I don't
What's
think that
up?
matters.
What's up?
I'm actually kind of worried.
You should
I'm
be.
actually kind of worried. I
You
am.
should
I
be.
ain't even gonna lie. I ain't
Because you
even
know
gonna
what
lie.
quarterback
I
is
am
leading the
actually kind
league
of worried.
in quarterback rating through 9 weeks?
Let me guess. Matty Ice. Yeah.
Matt Ryan and the Ice Cubes. That's what he called his twin boys, the Ice Cubes. Yes,
You
sir.
know, this is what kind of disappointed me. It was 2 things. Number one,
The
maybe because they're
Cowboys.
already. I mean, shut
Well,
up. Maybe
they
because
should have never rested Dak. If Dak could have played versus Minnesota, he should have played.
Or they should have just brought him in for a series or 2 to get him back up to speed.
Right.
man, yo, them throws he was making, it was a couple times CeeDee Lamb had his guy burnt and way over his head.
Burn.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
It's a good chance y'all gonna drop 40 on us. Real, hey, we might get
Yeah,
our
it's a
asses
good
blown.
chance you gonna drop 40 on those.
But I'm
Right.
gonna talk shit. I'm gonna talk shit all up until the game. You know this. Just like
Man.
feisty Chucky in the group decided he didn't know that I was gonna drop them cowboy memes looking like a fucking fruit roll up. Sweet. Can't call nobody feisty. Motherfucker got mismatched shoes on. Like that motherfucking theme song is Taste the Rainbow. The fuck? Don't play with me.
You know, I
Don't play with me.
had my run in with him already, so you know I'll just stay neutral.
It wasn't
but
a
I
run
did
in because
mine.
it wasn't no run in.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
motherfucker
know,
flexing. He flexing with a Benz living in an apartment.
but
Come on now.
a
It's not
99. It was 99
it's
Benz.
a
It was
99
99
Benz. It's a not yeah. Okay, it's clean, but shit, they don't make parts for it no more. What the fuck?
Riding
It's
around
one of
that
them.
brand new 99 photo.
It's one of them. Hey, it's one of them Benzes that still do diesel. You remember them?
Right.
Hey,
Blowing the
hold
puff
up,
out the
though.
black smokes.
Hey, I like those. I actually want me one. I want to. I would
Nah,
like to have a
that's too much
5.6.
smoke.
Hey, bro, them things are maintenance nightmare, man. You
Yeah,
know
they
what
are.
I'm
You don't
saying?
want that.
No,
That's
maintenance
like
nightmare.
I'm a
an old hey,
mechanic.
bro. That's
Well, I
still
know,
like
I
working
know, I
on
know.
a over. That's like working on a rig, dude. You don't want to keep doing that. You don't want to do it.
agree.
No, because if I get, I like the body style, but if I had the room and I could find one of those,
Nah,
I
you
would
know what
put a
Benz that
2JZ in
I
it.
used to
I put a
want it. I used to
2JZ.
want that 2004 500 SL with the lines the Ferrari lines down the side, the convertible. Man, that was my ride. I was like, yeah. Oh, hey AC.
What's up?
So,
Yeah.
so this, all right, so
I
this
hate
is
you.
why.
Whatever you
Let
said, I
me.
hate you already.
I got a real life question for
Fuck
y'all.
Bama.
Okay,
I
what's
know.
up? What's up?
I know. I got a real life question. I know. And I see. I
AC, look
already
right there,
know.
baby.
I
Look
should
right there,
probably. I
AC.
should probably mute AC after this question
Here we
Fuck
um,
Bama.
go. I'm starting
Here
to
we
see this
go. Here we
question.
go.
because I should probably mute AC after this question because he probably gonna go slap the f off.
What is man coming for me?
I'm not coming for you. I'm not coming for you at all.
Because we the
I
only
just.
team that got a chance
I
at winning
just.
the national title this year.
Let's
I
go,
just
Aaron.
want to know. I just want to know.
How you gonna ask him a
Do
question and then
Scottie
mute him?
Pippen? Do Scottie Pippen sound like a bitter baby mama?
Yeah, you do.
Ooh,
Yeah, I do.
ooh,
Hell yeah. What other answer would you
ooh.
expect?
Let's
No,
get to it.
he sound like the baby mama that got denied child support. That's who
Look,
he sound like.
nah, Tony. He sound like the baby mama who the daddy died, but she didn't have a social security number to get the check.
Oh yes, that's
Scotty,
even worse.
Scotty Pippen is mad because he did not get paid. That's what this is about.
Hey,
Who fault is
that's his
that?
fault. Can I
You
go
got an
off?
eight? Did you
Aaron,
have an
can I
eight?
go off? Can I go
Hey,
off?
wait.
Go
AC,
off. Go
hold
ahead.
on.
Go ahead.
AC.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna wait. Yes, sir. Okay. So look here, man. First of all, whose fault is Scotty Arkansas hillbilly ass didn't get his old check? Look, when the goddamn GM tell you don't sign the deal, the GM of the team say, "Hey man, this ain't a good deal for you, cuz. You sign it anyway. Cause your damn you ain't never had no shoes before you got the damn Bulls. I mean, then you gonna sign it, then you mad? You mad because you signed a bad deal? And ain't our fault the future had your way. That ain't got nothing to do with us either.
God.
Like you made
Let me
all
just say,
these.
to Scotty's defense, them Nike Air up tempos is fire. But go ahead.
They
AC.
are. Yeah, I'm
That's-
saying Scotty. Yeah.
But he didn't make them.
He didn't make them, and he probably ain't the one that picked them either.
Hey,
First of all,
hey. Wait a minute. He first of all, let's also third of all, let's not mention the fact that let's mention the fact he didn't get paid for the documentary that Jordan got paid for.
hey,
So
in Jordan
wasn't
They
defense
didn't
though,
ask. I don't.
hey,
But they didn't.
Jordan
That's
wasn't his
Jordan donated the
documentary.
money. Jordan donated the money though.
It wasn't his documentary. So why
It
would they
wasn't.
pay him?
I agree. I'm just saying that's why he's bitter. He's bitter over a whole
So
bunch of
wait,
stuff.
you bitter for a documentary that you had no part of?
Right.
That's like
Yeah,
me being mad at
A man clearly said, without Scottie Pippen, there is no Michael Jordan. He clearly said
he
this
gave
in the
you your props.
documentary.
He gave you your
Without
props for
Scottie
everybody to
Pippen,
say.
there is no Michael Jordan.
Hey.
That's the
I'm
only
not going to
person
sit
Jordan
here
gave
and let
props
y'all
to.
disrespect. I'm not going to sit here and
Yeah,
let y'all
because he didn't give a
disrespect
shit about Luke
Scotty
Longley.
the GOAT.
Hey, hold on, bro. And first of all, look, Scotty even changed the name. It ain't even SCOTTIE. That ain't his real name. That some bitch got an SOC or SCOTTY. He changed the
Motherfucker
damn
named
name.
Stockholm.
Like you started out wrong.
Hottie.
Scotty too hotty. Fuck ass. Then you gonna look. Then you gonna get on TV. You gonna get on TV, man, and them interviews.
Oh shit. That motherfucker name is Scotty. Scotty Maurice Pippin.
I mean, you thought I was making it up?
Bruh, he should be mad at just being named Maurice.
Maurice.
Why is he? But hey, I got a question.
And
Why is this guy going around saying that he's the greatest of all time now? What in
He
the?
has CTE for playing basketball.
I don't know. I ain't know.
I mean, him and the Knicks
I
did
ain't
go
just
back and
no
forth a
person.
couple
Y'all
times.
did hear
I
when
ain't
you
just
said
no-
that.
Huh?
Y'all did hear when you
I
said
ain't no
that, right?
person to just do drugs.
I heard him say that
I
stupid
ain't no
shit.
person
Look.
to just do drugs like that. But
I
I
knew a
want to know what
crackhead.
drugs he on that got him feeling like he was the greatest basketball player ever.
It's probably a white girl.
All right. I will say this. Scotty to me, and my of course,
I'm sorry.
man. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry for our audience. But I'll say this. This ain't Scotty now. Y'all remember whenever he played in the All-Star, they have the, what do you call it? The celebrity challenge or whatever, and they have to do
Yeah.
these obstacles. You remember after one time his team ended up doing well. He was talking about doing a comeback at like 40, late 40, early 50s. Charles Barkley was like, no, don't you do it. His arms all flabby and everything else. Scotty has a habit of saying this crazy shit. This ain't the first time. This ain't the first time he's saying some
Well,
dumb
let's not
shit.
make fun of him then, because it might be mental illness.
You know what? It could. That
It
hair
ain't
look like he
mental
got mental illness though. Look, he's struggling in life. I know my hair all over my damn head, but Scotty look like he got a Jerry curl on one side and some damn
You know,
on
he
this
look like
side and shit.
he looked like one of the members of the Wu-Tang Clan. You know how they had all that different shit going on in their head?
But they wasn't struggling in life.
He look like Eddie Kane by the damn head. That's what he
Yeah,
look like.
Damn.
There you go. Thank you.
But we can't say Wu Tang.
Nice like this.
I'm just saying from the hairstyle.
Yeah.
Look,
And I don't
ain't
know,
nobody
some of
come
them
to see you,
motherfuckers-
Otis.
Eddie Kane Jr.
Nah, some of them dudes were kind of psychotic though.
Hey, hold on. No. What was the other dude in the movie when they say, "When nobody come to see you, Otis"? What was the other dude?
Oh, that was the Temptation,
Oh,
man. That was
oh,
the
yeah,
Temptation.
yeah.
I know what I'm saying. So
That's
whatever.
the Temptation.
That was,
So clearly,
David Ruffin.
Scotty is Otis. Scotty is Otis in this situation and shit.
And Michael is David.
Yeah. But I mean,
Nobody come to see you.
Hey, but here's the killing part. Here's what gets me though. And I made a comment. I made a post, bro, in one of them damn groups. And I'm like, man, now we all grew up watching Jordan and them play. That's our generation. We watched them, the whole Bulls dynasty and all this shit.
I lived through that shit.
Okay, me too, because I was a Lakers fan. But
Yeah.
Oh, the Hawks. Hawks with Dominique.
we all of that, but everybody on this damn thing. I ain't really like Jordan as a human or some shit like that, but I respected his game. We watched them, boy. We all seen and we all knew Scotty was that man, right hand man on the court. Like
He was a Robin. That was his role.
He was a Robin. That's how I think we all, every black kid in my generation, that's how we felt about it. And for Scotty to come 30 years later and drop this kind of bullshit out here in the airwaves, I'm like, say, man, it's like telling your kid Santa Claus don't exist and shit no more. Like,
I've done that though.
I mean, it has to happen.
And then hold up. And then the thing is, so, and I'm not diminishing injuries, and for anybody, and I know back injuries are nothing to play with, right? We all know that back injuries are nothing to play with, and you have
especially when you get old.
Yeah, you're gonna be stiff, right?
Yeah.
You can't say that. Oh well, in the final game in the 98 season, I was just as great as Jordan because I played with a back injury. Yeah, you played with a back injury, but bro, you scored like 7 points. And Jordan dropped like 45. Jordan scored half the team points. And
I will say
only
I
dropped
will
like
say
6
this.
or 7.
if it's one thing I do agree with, it is harder playing with a bad back than with the flu. I will say that.
Oh
Man,
no, and there's no question about that.
No, that's the only thing I agree with.
But you can't say you greater than Jordan because you played back and you only dropped 8 points.
Agree. Yeah,
You-
that's
I
like,
mean, I mean, totally agree.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
just like, man, how you just? I mean, black folks ain't got nothing to believe in half the time, no way. And then here your black ass come, and you gonna take away one of the only things we had. You and Jordan was Batman and Robin. Now your punk
You
ass
know,
talking about Jordan
It
ain't had the
damn,
flu.
it damn sure wasn't Batman and Batman.
Showing him
well,
what?
Jordan
hey,
said he didn't. Jordan said he didn't have the flu. He said he
I
had
know,
flu
which make it
poison.
Yeah,
worse.
He said it
it
on.
was food poisoning.
And we
yeah,
know there wasn't
food
no
for
food poisoning either, but we'll go with that
Yeah,
story.
and
Well, we all know that some bit was drug
we're
on
gonna
that
say
quick.
it was that white
Look,
version. It was
look
that
here.
white version of COVID.
Look here, man. If you ever drank Crystal Palace gin in your life, you know that look Jordan had in his eye on that court. You know what it was. There was no goddamn food poisoning. I done
When
had
he
That
food.
was
came and sat in that
hey,
seat and he was going leaning.
that
Oh,
hey, when you look at that picture of when Jordan was hanging off Pippen, he looked like your drunk uncle at the cookout. He
yeah,
just got off. He just got off that night train. That motherfucker
oh.
had like a half
Hey,
hour night
hey,
train.
look, Jordan
yeah,
looked
the
like he drank.
Thunderbird.
Look, Jordan looked like he drank Wild Irish Rose in the icy. Like you, that's the poorest shit you can make. So, look, a Wild Irish Rose and a peach icy. That's some poor shit out of North
Yeah, but
Carolina.
it was good
That,
though.
the hell yeah.
So
It was
this is
good.
what I would say. I think out of all the athletes, whether you like them or not, it is only two people that, and I both like them, and I like both of these people. But to me, it's only two people. No, three. Now that I think about it, in all of professional sports, that they can be arrogant and call themselves the GOAT because there's absolutely no way you can even, dispute that. There's Michael Phelps in swimming, Hussein Bolt in track, and Michael Jordan in basketball. Everyone else, if I
You
hated
can
their
throw
guts like Tom
What
Brady,
about Tom Brady?
you can
He can,
throw
bruh.
Wayne
Tom,
Gretzky in hockey.
yeah,
no,
Wayne
well,
Gretzky.
okay, Wayne, yeah, I agree, but Wayne's a nice guy. I've never seen him be a prick. But what I'm saying is that
If
to
Tom
me, if
Brady wanted
Tom
to flex,
Brady,
he could flex on anybody he wanted to,
He can.
except Bill
I
Russell.
agree,
Tom,
I agree, I agree to that.
he
Can't
don't like
nobody
I
Tom
agree,
flex.
Brady
Brady.
don't like being in the
Can't nobody
spotlight like
flex
that.
on Bill Russell. None of them.
I'll add Brady to the mix, and maybe I'll add Jerry Rice to the mix. But other than that, man, there's no one else that can sit up there and say that they're a GOAT and be dickheads about it that I went and try to dispute. Other than those people we just mentioned, they can be total dicks for the rest of their life. They're like, well, yeah, well, there's really nothing I can say.
It is
You
Michael
know,
Jordan. I mean,
right?
hey,
Gabby,
He
no,
Mayweather, who's
we could
undefeated,
throw,
is a dick. And if he says he's the GOAT, I'll find some kind of stat to
we could
say
go
that
to
ain't
dancing.
no, man, you're
We
not
could
the
go to
GOAT.
dancing.
Right. I
You
mean,
know who
so
not to
MJ
go?
is just
You know who not to go, and who was the most overrated boxer in history? Mike Tyson.
most overrated in history.
You
I wouldn't.
goddamn right. Who did
Ooh,
he
I
fight that
wouldn't
was
say all
impressive?
that.
man,
Who did he
I
fight
that
that
wouldn't
was?
say all that.
Oh,
I'm
he
not
fought.
gonna say all
even
He
over
that.
fought a
Deontay
60.
Wilder. I think
He
I
fought
can
a.
Deontay
I can
Wilder.
say I can
He
say- I
fought
can
a
I can agree.
Deontay
65
I
Wilder
can
is
year
agree
old.
for
overrated.
you to say he's not the GOAT, but
Yeah,
He
yeah,
ain't even
I'm
in the
with you.
top.
Yeah,
Mike
I'm not
Tyson
gonna
not
say
even in the
he's
top
overrated,
10.
man.
He
I'm not
not in
gonna
the
say
top
that.
15.
I'm not gonna
come
say
on, dude. Of heavyweights of all time, he's
Bruh,
I'm
not
not
in
he
the
gonna say
fought
top
that.
15.
powder puffs. He fought powder puffs. Leon Spinks,
What?
really? 65-year-old Leon Spinks, who,
I mean, he
ah,
fought
Razor
who was
shit,
in
Razor
his
I could
Ramon,
way.
beat,
He
I
fought
could
who
beat
was in
his
his
ass,
way.
James Bone Crusher
which was
Smith.
nobody.
Hey,
Which
don't you dare bring up Bone Crusher name.
don't
Don't you
say,
do it.
Bone
don't say.
Crusher
Look,
was a beast, man.
hey man, look. By the time I got my spaghettios off the stove that night, that damn fight was over with. Cause I wasted
Let me
my
tell
money.
you. Let, let me tell you about. Let me tell you about Mike Tyson and his fights. Mike Tyson was the perfect ad for boxing. That's what he
I
was.
mean,
No, no, no.
you can't
Shh.
take
Yes,
that
I
right
can if
hook
you
to the
shut up.
body, the right hook to the body, and the right over to
You
the
know who
face. You
could
can't
take it?
take that
You know,
from them.
Or the
you know
Can't
who?
take
uppercut.
that
Or
from
the
Wait.
them.
uppercut.
You know who could take those punches? Real boxers. And what happened when he fought those real boxers? He lost.
Well, Lennox
What happened
Lewis
when he
ducked
fought?
Okay.
What happened?
Lennox Lewis ducked Tyson in the early '90s. We all
What
know
He
happened
did.
that.
to
He did.
and
He
Lennox
did.
and
Lewis ducked
Tyson
Tyson in the early
and
'90s.
Tyson ducked Holyfield until later because
Hey, but what?
Holyfield wanted a piece of that
Well,
Hey,
early.
what I
but
mean,
why? But
wasn't
hey, but why
Tyson
don't?
Tyson
Why
Yeah,
wasn't
but
he
ran.
don't?
in
he ended up
prison
going to
then?
jail. You
Here's
can't
the
say he
question though.
ducked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Tyson
Wasn't he in prison?
He ended up going to
Holyfield wanted
jail.
Tyson the minute he won that title. He wanted
Hey,
his name. He wanted his title shot
Well, that was
here's
in
the
Yeah,
after
but
he
but
won that
'93.
first
but
title.
Evander one hadn't even moved up yet when Tyson won
Man,
his title. Evander was
Evander
still at
felt
cruiserweight.
Holyfield didn't care. He wanted titles,
Yeah, but I mean, come
and
on,
that's why
man.
he act like he do now. Cause that motherfucker take a beating.
I,
The only
look,
time Holyfield been
He
knocked
did
out
take
is in his MMA fight. That's the only time he been knocked out.
he did take a beating.
He took
All right,
that beating in that
look,
MMA fight.
look, I
He
agree
also
with you
95
that
years old.
when he fought boxers, he did lose. But Mike Tyson in his prime, I'm talking about before he went to prison. Mike Tyson before he went
He
to
still
prison,
didn't fight nobody.
man, I think
I
No.
don't even feel like he fought Buster Douglas. I really feel like he fought Robert.
yeah, he didn't train. He was just there.
Yeah,
Hey,
he should have lost the
hey,
Buster, but he did.
you know
He
what
did.
though? You know what
You
though?
know who
And
he
he
should have
knocked
fought?
down Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas had a slow count, by the way. Buster
So?
Douglas, when he got knocked down, it was a slow count.
He
It
did.
was a slow count when he knocked him
Hey,
down.
it was what it was.
What's the
I mean,
name
Yeah,
had a
I'm
slow,
just
what's the name had a
hey,
slow count too just a couple weeks
hey,
ago.
hold on. Let's be
Okay.
real though. Hey, Robin Givens had softened Tyson up before Buster Douglas got hold to him anyway. So look,
Facts.
hey, when he
Facts.
would beat up when he got to the ring, because anytime you see that Negro walking around in a damn a stonewashed jumper with no shirt on, walking the damn tiger, you knew he was in trouble already.
Hey, man.
It was over. The signs was there. That shit like that Travis Scott concert. There's a lot of shit went wrong before Tyson lost in that ring, and you knew he was gonna lose. It was over. Look, and like Tony said, man, you know, people like to romance the past. You know what I'm saying? And you look back at them Tyson fights, there's a lot of slugging of bums. I mean, he knocked the shit out of some bums real quick. But
dude, it was like the backyard bum fights that old boy, what's it? The dude that died, Kimbo used to do. That's what them fights was like.
Yeah.
Okay,
that was a Kimbo's fight.
Well,
But
I have a question.
he was good. He was good though.
And
Yeah,
what
but
happened
I
when
have a
Kimbo
question.
fought somebody who knew how to fight back? He got drugged.
Yeah, okay.
And then he died.
When he fought Tank Abbott,
No,
he
Tank was washed, dude. Tank had already been knocked
Tank
out
was
6 straight
washed.
matches.
Yeah, that wasn't
his-
prime Tank.
Kimbo's first real fight was an underground fight against an ex. He was a current MMA champion, and Kimbo got washed. This motherfucker put Kimbo down. It was a white guy, big white guy. Kimbo hit him hard as he could right in the face. That dude smiled and hit
Wait a
him
minute,
back.
are you talking about the underground fight? Or are you talking about
The underground fight? It was an underground fight.
That was the underground.
Okay,
fight.
I remember when he got
that
hit
was
with
that $1
uppercut
million
in the head.
underground fight. That was that $1 million
Yeah.
underground fight.
And he got hurt. That was the last of his fights, and then he went pro. That was the last of his fights.
But okay,
he
I got
fought
a
that
question.
white boy and got slept.
But is it Tyson's fault though that prime Tyson before he went to prison, he didn't really have? I mean, who else was there for him to fight?
Everybody ducked him. Lewis ducked him. I don't care what y'all
that's what
say.
I'm saying.
But why don't Lewis get that same smoke that Floyd get though?
Holyfield might not have ducked him. But
why don't Lennox Lewis get the same smoke?
Holyfield don't duck nobody.
That Mayfield, I mean, that Mayweather get. Why nobody give Lennox Lewis that shit? Because they hate Floyd. Oh, Floyd did this one. Floyd did that one. I ain't never heard nobody ever say nothing about Lennox Lewis being a damn ducker himself.
Oh,
I ain't never heard that.
I mean, but who is Lennox Lewis? I mean, Lennox Lewis fought bums too.
But
he
don't get the smoke.
Tyson.
He don't get the smoke.
But no,
yeah, but I'm not gonna say
he fought a washed Holyfield. He fought a washed Tyson.
He beat Tua. He beat Hakeem Rockman in the rematch.
Yeah, he did beat Rockman.
He knocked Rockman. Boy, that was a 1-2. You remember Tua, the Samoan dude? He only had one punch though.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but we don't even talk about a Hassan Rockman. We don't even talk about. Ain't nobody talked about him. Nobody talk about him before the fight, and ain't nobody talked about him since.
Let's we can agree on this. By the time Lennox got to the top of boxing, the heavyweight division was done.
Yeah, I agree.
It was done. He was the last
good
heavyweight. Period.
I will say this: Vitaly Klitschko did beat Lennox, even though they gave the decision. But Vitaly did beat Lennox. He did beat him.
He did. And that's back when I used to watch boxing. Like now, I don't give a fuck because it is what it is now.
Yeah. So I saw the Canelo fight this past weekend, and
that was
Canelo.
A good fight. It was
it was decent. It was a decent fight, but I hate to say it, but those days of whenever you had Hearns, Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Durant. Those four killing each other.
Durant.
It was just
stop hating.
You don't like Durant? Yeah, wait a minute. But come on,
Nah,
man. You
nah,
can't
bro.
disrespect. I mean, I know he said no moms, but you can't disrespect Durant, man. I mean,
If
Durant was
nah,
a killer.
okay,
Durant was a killer.
that's
When he
fine.
beat Sugar Ray the first time,
Well,
when he beat
that
Sugar Ray
that
Leonard the first time, man, that dude was a killer. But then
but
he
see
got,
back
he
then
went
you
on
didn't
and
have as many weight divisions as you do
You
now.
didn't. You
I
had
mean
what,
that's
Literally,
true.
you
4?
got
You had
you
4,
could
right?
be
He
a
about 6. He had
150
6.
champion. You could be a champion at 150, a champion at
Let's see.
155, a
You had
champion at
lightweight,
140.
you had featherweight, lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight.
No, you
That's
still
all
had
you had
cruiserweight.
back in the 80s.
You had
And you had
cruiserweight.
cruiserweight,
In
so you had 5.
cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Now you got
Now
like
you got
literally you
16.
got
You got
yeah.
super featherweight.
What is
Dude, what
that?
is a super?
Man,
What's
they
that,
got
110
bantamweight.
pounds?
I don't, man. It's like, it's
You
one
got
thing. Okay, you can weigh
I
no
thought
preschool
more than,
weight?
bantamweight was women. I thought bantamweight
yeah.
was women.
No, bantamweight is man too. It's
No,
like you
it's
can't
the
weigh
That's
no more
men.
than
you got men.
105 pounds.
Who?
Yes.
I'm like,
Man,
man,
if I throw my shoe at that dude, he gonna fall. Okay.
it's like, man, you got jockeys, you got former jockeys on horses look like. I
And
mean,
that's
that's
what I'm
exactly what
saying.
they look like.
Back when I was into boxing, 5 weight classes, and you constantly had that one dude that went between at least 2 of them to fight somebody. Sugar Ray did it, Hitman did it, Hagler did it all the time. They were constantly going between weight classes. Oh, you want some of this? Let's go. Let's
I'll put
go.
on some pounds real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let me go eat
nowadays,
a couple burgers. Now it's like, nah, I don't want to. You come to my weight class, I'm not going up there.
Oh yeah,
but
because
you know what?
The Charlo twin said that he was like, why do I need to move up in weight class? I'm the champion at the weight class that I'm in. What I need to move up for?
Unfortunately, it's a gift and a curse, right? Because the one thing I do respect from Mayweather, though, if you get rid of your promoter and you start promoting yourself, then that allows you to pick and choose what you want to do. It's
And
no
he did that.
longer the right.
Yeah,
So it's
he
no
did.
longer the days of whenever you have a promoter
Don
and you get
King.
the 2 best people, no matter what, the 2 best people in the weight class, and the promoter get all the money. So it's kind of a gift and a curse. Hey, look, yeah, you
It
want
is.
black boxers to make more money, but now it's like, man, you cherry picking. Hey,
I
look,
just
I don't want
want
this
a
guy. I want this
good
guy.
boxing match. I don't need all this silly shit coming like Wilder coming to the ring with 400 pounds of equipment on. I don't need all that.
Hey, that was a nice cosplay suit, by the way. I just want
Yeah,
to.
I
yeah, I
do.
told you, man, he's
That
looking
was
like
a nice
What does
somebody
that
cosplay.
from
have
Yeah,
to
Wakanda.
he
do
looked.
with
He,
boxing?
if you ever played what's the name of that damn game?
No one
Shit,
cares.
I can't think of the name of the game.
No one cares.
I want to circle back to Tony's earlier point though. Like, man,
Wait, are you going to agree with me or argue with me? Because I need to be
no,
prepared.
I'm gonna agree with you, man. The
Okay.
fact that
All right.
the days of what we was used to, like let me encapsulate this right quick. We had the Hagler Sugar Ray type fights, and we had the damn Tyson shit. We ain't getting no more, like you said, the days of the Hagglers and all of them, we ain't never gonna see that again.
Ever.
That's a
Yeah,
wrap. I mean,
yeah,
boxing
that's
is
done.
dead. Boxing been dead a long time, but they keep trying to resuscitate it with these duds. But it's not there. We're never there because the talent, much like in other sports, the level of talent and the commitment to that sport, it ain't there no more. These cats want to get paid quick, get rich quick, and they not putting in the work, man. And they not raising up no good fighters. It's like, I
I
mean,
mean, what they need, you know what they need? They need to have a boxing, because that's nothing too. You got all these different IBA, WBF,
You
IBO,
got too many fucking
WBC.
championships,
Right,
dude. You got 9
right,
titles out here.
right. So UFC, you got one man, Dana White, who gives the final say so on who's going to fight whom.
And it's
You're the
usually a
best
top
going up
5
against the
fight.
best, right? And that's how it needs to be. But it's so much money and so many hands in boxing between the state commissions, between the arenas, all these different belts and the promoters and everything else. You'll never have that. People are going to be forced to give up their hand in the pie with some of these promoters. De La Hoya, I was hoping will put an end to that, but so far he seems just like all the rest of
Yeah,
Yep.
he
them.
doing the exact
So
same shit.
yeah. So I think that's the issue at hand at the end of the day.
agreed.
So
I can agree with that. So yeah. But again, Tyson's still fucking radio. I don't care what near one of y'all
man,
say.
I wouldn't say that.
Nary. He was overrated. Fuck that. Yeah, he
I,
fought
I
who's in
can't I
front.
can't
So
go
wait,
with that.
Tyson's not overrated for fighting bums, but
I
Oregon
mean,
is
you can't
overrated
really
for being
say
bums.
nobody is
Man, come
overrated
on.
because Mayweather fought a lot of bums too.
This dude compared
I
college
don't like
football to
Mayweather.
boxing.
I don't like Mayweather. I
I
never
can't
have.
stand Mayweather.
I like Mayweather as a businessman. No, I mean
Yeah, as a
that's just me.
I
businessman,
That's
mean,
me.
I'm just
I
saying. I mean,
That's me.
people say, "Oh, well, he 50-0," and that's cool. But 30 of those was bums.
Like
We
that.
can
I don't
all
believe.
we can all agree that 30, 35 of those fighters was
I
bums.
mean, all right, all right. Look, Mayweather. I can't say he cherry picked his whole career because
I
that
can.
fight when he fought Dab Judah, that was a good fight. About when he fought what was that dude named? The dude that was throwing the axe handle punches that actually rocked Mayweather. He kind of took him
Oh,
lightly.
Sugar
I
Shane,
can't. No, not sure.
Shane
No,
Mosley.
seriously, he did rock him. He rocked him in the second round. It was
And
this
see,
other cat.
but and my thing with that fight is, why didn't Mayweather fight Shane Mosley back in 03, 04?
Because he was
Why
too
didn't he
good.
fight? Why didn't he fight Pacquiao after Pacquiao beat Hatton? I
Because he
never
was too
understood
good.
that.
He knew he had a chance to lose. He was waiting that motherfucker got old and injured.
I mean, I ain't
Because
mad at it.
It's
Pacquiao
like
after
Tyson.
Hatton
It's like
would have
Tyson
beat
Because
had
I
Mayweather.
mean,
58. Tyson had 58 fights, 44 by knockout. 40 of them knockouts was against street level fighters.
Hey, I mean, Clemson cherry picked their schedule and shit. So I mean,
Man,
Ooh,
really?
ooh.
Okay. How in
I
the
mean,
world?
y'all be playing. Look, they be
Really?
playing Oral Roberts and the Citadel and shit. Talking about
Abbey
we
School of
undefeated.
they play Abbey School of Underwater
Tony
Wait a
Basket
Brook.
minute. Wait a
Weaving.
minute. Ho
Look,
ho ho. Wait a
the
minute. Wait a minute.
Fry
Wait a
football
minute.
team.
Wait a minute. Who does
Go ahead and say
Alabama
something.
play? Who does Alabama play this weekend?
The SEC.
Yeah,
No,
right
they
there.
don't.
Who we playing?
Citadel, is
Alabama
it
does not
Citadel?
play. No. Who
Man,
does
hey,
Alabama play this weekend?
Citadel. That's
They play no, they play New Mexico State.
New Mexico State. Thank you
I
very
think.
much.
Do you really want to go back and look at Clemson's early schedule?
But first, no, wait. First, all the teams put that one
So
school that
is
they
New
can put
Mexico?
on to
So
heal. Shit, our one after this one is like Charleston Southern or some shit.
Look, man. Every look.
is
We
New Mexico
all.
State a historically Mexican college?
No, the real question is, could New Mexico State beat Clemson?
I think they could. I think
Yeah,
they
you're
could.
probably right.
I mean,
Where you're playing right now.
but I think we can all agree. I mean, we all support, quality program. Well, not
No,
Clemson.
three of us.
The rest of us, three of
I'll
us
let
do.
you figure out who don't. Three of us
Yeah.
do though.
But we are. Hey, we know the money game, and we know about how the money works. Ain't none of these damn programs gonna load their schedule up with other top 25 teams. They ain't finna out because
Unless
they
you're in
don't
the
want to lose.
SEC. Unless you're in the SEC.
Well,
Yeah, well,
Unless
I'm
you
gonna
were in
tell you
the
what.
SEC.
What's about to happen in the next 3 or 4 years? I don't think there's going to be any more cupcakes. I think these super conferences keep loading up. What the Sun Belt now about to have like almost damn near 20 schools coming into it.
That don't
I mean,
mean
I
Wait till
don't.
Ohio State. Wait till Ohio State join the SEC. Y'all gonna lose your mind. Just wait. Ohio State and
Well,
Michigan coming down to the SEC.
That
if
would
Watch.
make
Ohio
no
State
sense
and
to
Michigan
me.
go to the SEC, I'll stop watching
That
college
would
football.
that
I'll
would
never
telling
make
you.
watch
no
college
sense.
football ever again if that
That
happens.
It
would
don't make
make no
sense that
sense.
Virginia. It don't make sense that Virginia is playing against fucking Oklahoma either. It
Was
don't
it
make
West
sense.
Virginia?
They need,
That's West
yeah, West
Virginia. Yeah,
Virginia. They need to
yeah,
be in the
yeah, yeah.
SEC or the ACC. They don't need to be
Yeah,
out.
Well, they were
I
in the
don't quite get
ACC.
that
I thought
too.
they were in the ACC.
No, West Virginia was in the Big East,
Yes,
and
yeah.
then
Oh
the
well, I
Big
mean,
East
come
folded.
on. Don't nobody want the Big
I mean
East
Clemson was
in
in the
football.
SEC back in the day. We ran them out.
No,
So
no,
was
no,
so was
no.
Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech was in the SEC, and we ran them
South
out.
No, Georgia
Carolina
Tech
used to be a
was.
part of the ACC. Then they went
That's
independent,
correct.
Hey, where
and
the hell was
then
Florida State at? They wasn't always in the ACC, was it?
It's in the Big
Florida
East
State
too,
was
weren't they?
independent. Florida,
No, no,
yeah,
no, no,
Florida
no.
State was
No,
independent.
No, they was in the
No,
conference, dude.
Miami. You're talking about Miami. Miami went to the Big East, and then
Oh
the
yeah,
Big East
Miami
folded,
was
and
in
then
the
it went
Big
to the
East.
ACC.
Yeah.
I
Florida
feel it.
State was independent, and then
Nah.
eventually they went to the ACC.
The Big East folded? I did not know that.
And football.
Yeah,
In
they
football,
started.
yeah.
Everybody
Oh
started
well, of
jetting
course.
out.
Oh well, that makes sense.
I
Nobody
mean,
goes to
what?
the Big
What?
East for football.
Well, no. But then, I mean,
And
the same
then
thing happened
then
with the
then it
basketball.
became the AAC or whatever you call it, and then it is all kind of confusing.
I'm gonna tell you what I hate though. That ain't got nothing to do with football. Look, I went on the damn website trying to get a ticket to the Carolina Duke game, basketball game coming up, in like February to see Coach K get beat.
Go Tar Heels.
Hey, already. And look, the damn ticket at the Tar Heels spot at Dean Smith was like $1,000 to stand up there in the rafters with the birds and shit. But then a month later
on TV.
At Duke House, that shit was $5,000.
No, there's no way you get Duke.
I seen
$5,000 in nosebleed.
I seen where courtside seats to see that game was $5 million.
Man, what? It's no game on earth worth paying $5 million for.
Hey man, look at
that is ridiculous.
Hey, it's always somebody.
You got midgets and like KY. It might be interesting.
Robert Kraft won't protest.
He won't protest at all. Neither would Jerry Jones.
That is ridiculous.
Hey, look, I don't doubt it. I like I said, it was $5,000 in the rafters up there where you got to look over the beam to see that shit.
It's free with a beer in my living room.
So I mean, good luck.
It costs whatever my light bill gonna cost for that day.
Cameron Indoor Stadium. Cameron Indoor Stadium reminds me of a middle school gym. That's exactly how big. It's not very big at all. Very, very small. It looks big on TV, but it's not.
Let me shut up. I'm gonna be quiet. Shit.
No, you won't. It's gonna come out.
No, I'm gonna let it ride.
Hunk of junk.
Hey man, it's been a hard day.
Have they said who's replacing Coach K at Duke?
It's second in command, dude. Steve
Hubert. I thought it was, no, wait.
No, Hubert in North Carolina.
So it is him.
Is it gonna be him?
Yeah, that's why I was.
Yeah, this is a little bald-headed white boy. He already there. He like I think he was an assistant coach, but he already pretty much taken over the duties.
John Shire.
Yeah, that's him. That's his name. I knew it was an S in there somewhere. But he handpicked. So I don't know how this is gonna work out for recruiting.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a prediction
that they're gonna suck.
I think Duke. I don't think Duke is ever going to be the same again.
Hell no.
I think. Yeah,
ain't nobody trying to play with no John Shire. You don't come to my house, cuz.
I'll agree with that. Duke could never.
Yeah.
This era over.
This is it. I think this is it. They may make a couple tournaments. They may make it to a Sweet 16, but the level of dominance there that they have gotten with Coach K, never again. That's it.
Well, there's an old saying, man. You never want to be the guy to step into a great man's shoes. That ain't the spot you want, man. And you can ask Brian Greasy that shit when he went to Denver after Elway left. So,
and then turned around and said he was better.
That's how that was before weed was legal in Colorado. Like, what you doing? But so John, I don't see John Shire making it 2 years at Duke before they look for somebody else with a name attached to him to take over.
What y'all lying about?
We still talking about Duke not being shit.
I agree with that. I don't think Duke could be. I don't think Duke could be dominant for the next 10 years.
I would agree with that. Same shit gonna happen in Syracuse whenever Boeheim, if he don't run nobody else over with his car, whenever he leaves,
I think Syracuse may be a little bit better without Boeheim. I think they have the facilities. Boeheim's a good coach, but I think Syracuse may be one of those schools that another coach get in there, they may be a lot better.
It's the same thing happened to Clemson once Sunshine left.
North Carolina gonna be the same way.
Yeah,
they're not gonna be, and I'm a fan. I'm a Tar Heels fan, but we're not gonna be. North Carolina not gonna be dominant like that.
No damn Hubert Davis. Like, who the hell made that call?
No. I mean, Chapel Hill is kind of a different situation because they ran that's the brand is North Carolina. Yep. Duke is kind of like one of those schools that Coach K can only recruit for Duke. Yeah, you got. I mean, I don't see any other person that can. But you can fit the right person in North Carolina, and they can recruit well for North Carolina because the brand sells itself. But go to Duke, man. Duke. I know Zion went there, but I've been to Duke's campus. I'm like, why the fuck would anyone want to go to Duke?
Hey, they'd have did better. They'd have did better digging Bobby Hurley up out the dumpster and bringing him back to be the damn coach. Look, pull him off his motorcycle or cockeyed Jay Will. Any one of them dudes would have been a better call than who
Hold
they
on.
got.
Hold on.
If he don't,
Let
if
me look.
Bobby
Let
don't
me look
stop
for it.
wrecking
Oh, there it
motorcycles, he
is.
can't come back.
Yeah, no. I mean, was it the cockeyed Jay Will? Is that what did me in, man? I'm just saying. Did the motorcycle wreck mess his eye up, or was it already messed up before we?
No,
I
the
don't
wreck
know.
messed his eye. He had to retire. He had to retire because of that wreck.
Okay.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he had to retire because of that wreck.
Hey, get Christian Laettner. Get Christian Laettner to do
Stop
it.
making fun of
Christian
Handy.
Laettner,
Hey,
you know what?
Christian Laettner would be a good call.
Be bad.
If he would be,
That would probably
would
be
be a
an
good
okay
call.
call.
he would be
It
a good
would.
call. I mean, because there's so many people hate his ass, but other people love him. I mean, anytime you got a whole 30 for 30 and say, I hate Christian Laettner, that means you important.
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
Yeah,
Hey, Scotty gonna make one next.
No, man.
I hate Michael Jordan.
Look, he gonna call you the last dance Earth.
Hey, hold up. Hey, hold up. And you know what the opening theme song gonna be?
Welcome back, Connor.
Nah, Fantasia, Baby Mama.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Nothing but the baby mama drama.
All right. Hey, fools, I gotta go, man. Yo, it's been nice. Y'all crazy.
Hey,
I didn't do nothing.
man.
I'm innocent.
Y'all take care, baby.